TV18 and Hindustan Unilever Limited present Lessons in Marketing Excellence, Season 14.
Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new session of Lessons in Marketing Excellence L.I.M.E. I am so thrilled to be sharing the room with India's youngest talent, students with the sharpest acumen in marketing and the driving force to bring the best to the table. You are deemed to be the smartest brains in India. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. Let's go right to the HUL headquarters and dive into an exciting chat with Sanjiv Mehta, CEO and Managing Director, Hindustan Unilever Limited and President, Unilever South Asia, and Shereen Bhan, Managing Editor of CNBC-TV18.
It's great to be back here and speak with you in person, Sanjiv. Always a pleasure. But as we were walking up on stage, I decided to ask Sanjiv, I said, where did you go to college? And he said, I'm an unusual one because I'm a chartered accountant by training and then happened to fall into the world of FMCG and marketing. Let's start with that story. Very, very unusual one.
My route to the CEO's role has been a bit different. So I'm a chartered accountant by training, and this is my second job. My first job was with Union Carbide. But very early in life, I decided that I want to be a businessman and not an archetype accountant. So even in Union Carbide, I'd moved to sales and marketing. And that is a route I've been taking in my life, preparing myself to be a CEO. And when I was commercial director in Bangladesh, I was at a juncture where my business group president offered me the job of being the chairman of the company. This is 21 years back. And I was very clear. I have been training myself to be a businessman. So I opted to become the chairman of Unilever in Bangladesh. And for the last 21 years, I have now been running businesses in different parts of the world.
I want to talk about investing in people because what HUL is also known for, along with many of your timeless brands, is the fact that it's the CEO factory. At least it's been the CEO factory for the Indian ecosystem, for the Indian entrepreneurial ecosystem. What do you believe enables that culture? And what do you do today to ensure that you retain that culture?
CEO's job is the best job in the world. I can tell you that. And, something which we are very proud of is the tag that we are a CEO factory. And not just in India, but in India and abroad. Last count we did, we had more than 400 CXOs who proudly wear a badge trained by Hindustan Unilever. And this is a service we do to India Inc. and to the nation as well. That we breed great managers who go on occupy big positions. And if you look around, it's not just the traditional companies, but new age companies. Yeah, whether it is Amazon, whether it is Flipkart, whether it is Nykaa, whether it is Airtel, they are full of HUL people. And the reasons are many. First, it starts with having a great employer brand. And great employer brand, there's a lot of work which Anu and the team do in building the brand. But at the core is, everyone wants to join a winning organization. You don't want to join an organization which is not winning, right? The second one is, you want to join an organization where there is a very clear implicit contract that, hey guys, you look after the business and we will look after you. We will develop you. We will invest in you, we will take risk with you, and we will make you a better person than who you are. So we get the best, and then we make them better. And the kind of training we give them, at a very young age, we have brand managers who are given responsibility of managing budgets running into hundreds of crores. That's the kind of risk we do. The kind of training we do is, we give them, there are very few marketeers who have not worked in sales, and very few senior sales managers who have not worked in marketing. So we round you up to become good business managers. And then we have a very clear process of hand-holding when they join, anchoring them with senior leaders who invest in them. Then as they go up, the way we kind of monitor their development, the kind of training and development we give, the kind of challenging roles we give for them, the kind of planning we do for them, that's something very unique. And, many times people ask me that, as a CEO, what's your role? And I say that my role is around 3 axes. One is performance management. That's very critical. Second is building distinctive capabilities which are hard to replicate, like the entire Reimagine HUL. And the third is people, talent, and succession planning. Just before coming here, Anu and I, what were we discussing? We were discussing our young talent, and we were discussing the succession plans. That's the kind of importance we do. And that is the reason we are able to nurture great talent.
And what is also at this point in time a raging debate online, nationally and globally is what's happening in the workforce. And I think it's been exacerbated on account of the pandemic, hybrid models, work from home, flexi hours, and so on and so forth. And now this whole business of work-life balance. A CEO wrote a LinkedIn post which he believes, I had a conversation with him yesterday, and he says people didn't take away the nuance. His point was that in the first 5 years of your career, work as hard as you possibly can, because that builds the foundation for a career, and a career has to be treated as a marathon and not as a sprint. And so the first 5 years, invest all you have in building the foundations of a great career. Now, he was trolled, he was panned, saying there is no work-life balance. What are you talking about? Are you trying to employ slaves and so on and so forth? But I want to understand from you, because your perspective on this, and really because, this is a young audience who is going to be starting their careers, their journeys. How did you treat this, and how do you treat this today?
Sure. Yeah, like I said, now I've been a CEO for 21 years. And when I get up in the morning, I get up pretty early, and I get up with the same kind of enthusiasm. And I look forward to starting my day with the same amount of zeal that I did when it was my first day as the CEO, because I love my work. And when you love your work, you do it with passion, and you work for an organization where the purpose and values are in sync with your own purpose and values, then work is fun. It's not a chore. So the question of work-life balance doesn't arise. Work-life balance, I'll tell you the best way of looking at it is, you have to earn work-life balance. Yeah? When you develop your skills, that same quantum of job, you can do it in a much shorter time. So you don't have to sit in. The culture of, if my boss is sitting, I have to sit in office, and if my peers are sitting, I have to sit in office, are long gone. Today, we are least bothered when a person comes to work and when he goes home, so long as they deliver what they're promised to do. We don't even have a dress code. If you wear a t-shirt and jeans and come to office every day, that's perfect. We want you to be comfortable in your skin, but we want you to bring your best self to work.
How do you ensure that high-performing brands stay relevant and stay relevant in a market that is so fast changing?
Sure. Creating a timeless brand takes a huge amount of effort. I think first important bit is that the purpose, the very purpose of business exists to meet societal needs. So the brand has to be relevant from a perspective of meeting societal needs. The second important bit is it has to be contemporary. It can't be a fuddy-duddy brand in a new age. So people, the new generation, should be able to relate to it. And it should be a brand which should be able to traverse the heart and mind of consumers. Yeah? Business is a force for good, and so is a brand. So brand in today's context, for instance, if you look at our country, if it has to be made timeless, it has to meet the needs. So I would call it that it has to have product superiority. Second is, we are living in a developing world. And while the pricing is relative and not absolute, it should be able to connote value in the minds of consumers. And the third very important axis is sustainability. Yeah, if a brand has superior functionality, has a pricing which in the minds of consumers creates value, and is on the path of sustainability, it will definitely be loved and lapped by the consumers. That's how you make a timeless brand. So innovations have to play a very big part. Is your communication has to be very contemporary, and very importantly, what the brand stands for, never get away from that. A brand can't be everything for everyone. But what it stands for, it should stand with glory.
Mm-hmm. And that's an important aspect that you bring up, because as you said, that a brand cannot be something for everyone, and a brand that stands the test of time and stands the test of the market usually are distinct, and as they say, profit is in the niches. But since you're looking now at adjacencies, and that brings us to the question of brand extensions as well, and what is the peril of extending a brand? What are the challenges, but what are also the opportunities, and what should you be mindful of?
Certainly. I'll give some examples which will basically, in many ways, I would be talking about, just to make home a point, I would be stretching the imagination a bit. Take Surf Excel. Yeah? It's our largest brand, and it's on a journey to becoming our first billion-dollar brand. It's a fabulous journey it is on.
When do you get to the billion mark?
We'll celebrate. And look at Surf Excel. It is in a bar format. Yeah? If you want to rub your clothes. And if you want to go in for a solution wash, yeah, you have Surf Excel powders. If you have a machine at home, you have a Surf Excel Matic. And if you are a more evolved consumer, and much more conscious about your clothes, you may want to use the liquids. So you have Surf Excel liquids. And then if you were to look at things like pods and capsules, Surf Excel will be there. Yeah, so these are very clear formats where you will be extending Surf Excel, which started from bars and powders, to other formats. But if you were to stretch your imagination and ask, it's all about cleaning, right? So if I can clean clothes, can I use Surf Excel as a shampoo, cleaning hair? No, it won't work. Yeah, so that's where people trip and fall, thinking that you have a brand, it's doing well, so you can extend it to any area. No. You extend it, which is logical, and the extension should not only borrow from the core, but it should build the core. That's where it will add value, otherwise you will trip and fall. So when it comes to brand extensions, we don't take this decision very lightly. This is a decision with board conversation. And we are very circumspect because we want to strengthen the brand, and we are never flippant about it. There are times when you create a master brand, but master brand also should have an architecture where it can carry different products within its portfolio.
Well, Sanjiv Mehta, always a pleasure. Thank you very, very much for joining us today and being so candid, forthright, and
always a
open in your
pleasure.
Conversation.
Thank you, Sanjiv. Thank you, Shereen, for that insightful conversation. On that note, let's take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we bring to you L.I.M.E Season 14 finale. Stay tuned to know which team bagged the coveted 10 lakhs grand prize out of the 21,000 students that registered.
CNBC-TV18 and Hindustan Unilever Limited present Lessons in Marketing